Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound. Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul. When will redemption come? When we grant everyone what we crave for ourselves. Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
Now let's patiently come up.
Page 271. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Our grace, Shalom, Alleluia, O Israel, Jerusalem.
You want to rise, please, and turn to page
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. May we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise.
The words for Shalom Rock can be found on 282. Now we'll take a few moments for silent meditation. As Mark always tells us, this is the time when we actually put I in prayer. And the things that I need, like I need the strength to help me just be a good person, go on, do the right thing. So this is the time when you look inside yourself and then pull out those pieces and pray. times where you think about everyone who needs healing. Sometimes it's healing of spirit. Sometimes it's physical healing. But all healing is very important and significant, and for us to think about people, to share with people, and be there for people. So I want to read our Misha Be'er list here at home. Saeed Ben Sedera, Elise Beanstalk, Reverend Troy DuPont, Vicki Fox, Lois Gallowitz, Andrew Gordon, Iris Harpster, Susan Hartman, Lois Klein, Ricky Reeves, Herb Rosenbaum, Cheryl Sachs Dowling, Mary Ann Sherburne, Nathan Snyder, and Arlene Yaffe. Is there anyone else that anyone would like to add to that list?
Shayla's here and Chuck Devassa.
I always think of, and I don't say them out loud because I always think in my head, but Rabbi Rob Nosenchuk, who is the rabbi of the congregation I grew up at now, was there when I was there. Rabbi Bob Orrick, Richard Friedman, Jane Ayers, and Lynn Murphy.
Shalom, and it's so wonderful to see so many people here this evening. It's my honor to introduce Rachel Beck, who is the state organizer for RAC-PA, which is the Pennsylvania-specific project of the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism. In this role, Rachel engages, organizes, and leads clergy and lay leaders at more than 20 Reform congregations across Pennsylvania in statewide campaigns for impactful change. Growing up in the richly Jewish community of Squirrel Hill, Pittsburgh, Rachel is passionate about building opportunities for Jews across the state to be part of multi-faith, multiracial, and cross-class partnerships for creating the world we want, one in which our communities are central, safe, and deeply connected. With a background in education, the arts, and a BA in economics, Rachel brings a unique blend of deep caring, pragmatic thinking, and creativity to her organizing work. I'm delighted to welcome her to OF tonight to speak about RAC-PA's Every Voice, Every Vote campaign and some of the things that each of us can do, and these are not hard things, to protect our democracy by ensuring that all eligible voters know that they have the right to vote and that then they get out there and do it. Rachel.
Thank you so much, Julie. Shabbat shalom. It's so great to be here. Yes, I live in Philly now. I don't know if that was said. Love organizing Jews in Pennsylvania, and great to be 10 years ago, when the new director, Rabbi Jim Tedner, took over the Religious Action Center, he brought with him a model of state-based projects which are rooted in community organizing tools. RAPPA became the 8th state project in 2020. There are now 9. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about our history and why we're so involved in this work to protect democracy, and how you can get involved. And I just want to say I came because I want to get to know your community. I've met a few of you, Julie, Ricky Hurwitz, Martha, but not many more. And so I don't want to just be here to talk to you from here. I really would love to meet you, get to know you, connect. So please do stay with the ONED. I'll be there to talk and get to know you, and would love to chat. So since the beginning in RAPPA, we've followed the footsteps of the national headquarters with a deep commitment to fighting for and protecting voting rights, voter education, and voter access. If you're not familiar with the founding of the RAP, our founding director, Dick Hirsch, he, along with his wife, Emily Hirsch, were close friends with Martin Luther King and other Black leaders of the civil rights movement, to the point that when the RAP was founded and they got a building in D.C., the story goes that Dick Hirsch called up Martin Luther King and said, "You have an office in D.C., and that the written text for the Voting Rights Act was actually written in the conference room at the RAP. So this work is so central to who we are as Reform Jews. It's been core to the Reform movement for over 60 years now. And everything that we do is all about what our Reform Jewish values call on us to do to set the world the way that we want, the world that we aspire to. So when RAPPA began in early 2020, the beginning of the pandemic, when we were facing this huge election in a pandemic for the first time ever, it became very obvious that the thing to do was to get involved with voter engagement work, to make sure that in that moment, it was also in 2019, Act 77 had just been passed in Pennsylvania, which, if you're not familiar, was the bill of a law that, institutionalized mail-in ballots as something that anyone could apply for any election without needing like a absentee ballot excuse, right? And so it was beautiful timing, right, that happened right before the pandemic. We didn't know, but it was highly contested, right? So it passed into law, that was signed into law, but it was challenged, it was taken to the courts. So we were part of the group also that really worked to defend and protect and uphold Act 77. So during COVID, there was all of that work to be doing. We got on the phones, we phone banked voters, and we were also involved with ballot care because there were so many complications with mail-in ballots. So we helped make sure that 700 ballots in Alameda County didn't get thrown out. So that's the kind of work that we have done in the past. Just to give you like a history of who we are, where we're coming from, after that, we realized that in order to really advance anything at the state level that reflected our Reform Jewish values, and particularly a core value of racial justice, we needed to address the issue of gerrymandering in the state. And that at that point in 2021, now here's my ignorantness. I'm like, oh, you all live in Harrisburg, you know everything about state politics, right? It's okay if you don't. But you might be familiar with, in 2021, with the redistricting process. And so we got involved with a coalition that was working to create what's called the People's Map, which was a coalition of community-led organizations to help put out a vision for maps that actually reflected communities, not that played to the interests of politicians to keep their gerrymandered districts. So we were a part of that. And then after the 2022 election, we really did see that the balance of power had shifted somewhat in the House, but it was significant, right? And so we realized that at that point, we had a chance for the first time to work on an issue of concern, like a specific issue outside of voting, that's of concern to our members that we felt confident could have a chance of actually moving with the state legislature. So we chose to start working on gun violence prevention. So that was in 2023. And I know gun violence prevention. And I know that you have the Memorial to the Lost here at European Gun College. It's beautiful to see, and good to know that there are many, almost every synagogue, when we picked that issue, almost every synagogue in the state already had some link to that issue, whether it was competing with Paul or directly with ceasefire being the purpose. So it was like, oh, this is a no-brainer. People are already here. We already clearly care, especially in a state where the synagogue shooting happened barely 5 years ago. We know what that issue means to us as Jews, right? So we spent the past year working with them, and we learned a lot. there's something broken in our democracy when it comes down to 80,000, right? That means that people's voices aren't really being heard. We should be, elections should actually be competitive. It shouldn't be so tight. So getting 39,000 new people registered to vote is huge. So that's something that we get to be a part of. We will be working with them essentially to expand the electorate. And they do this in, like I said, Harrisburg and Dauphin County, Philadelphia, Allegheny County, and Montgomery County. So those are places where they work. And we will be working with them to reach these potential voters through vote banking, through postcarding, and we'll have the opportunity to join them at the doors and canvassing. Like I said, their work is 100% nonpartisan, and I want to share a little bit about why. So Wednesday night we had our campaign launch on Zoom that I know a few of you were at, and we got to hear from Case, the engagement director, Sage Cruz, who shared with us kind of the need of why they work nonpartisanly. Not just, for us, maybe because of the synagogue and political, and there's both social and legal reasons why we do that, but for them, it's really a winning, effective strategy. So they know that the people they're reaching out to, Black, brown, working class people in the state, who are the people who have low propensity to vote, they feel that their community's needs are continually not met, regardless of which party or what politicians are in office. So reaching out to them focused on the platform of individual candidates or individual parties, platforms, actually turns people off from voting because it just doesn't land with them. So one PA's approach is having conversations that are nonpartisan, that are about the needs and struggles and what people are facing in their everyday lives and what they and their communities need to thrive. And so that's what we get to join in, because actually having those conversations and helping people link those needs to voting, then motivate people to vote. And I think that's something we can relate to. I think we know what's at stake for us in our communities, and we know that showing up to vote is one of the best things we can do to ensure our safety in this country. That's what our country was founded on. That's why so many of our ancestors came to this country. That's why so many of us are in this country, right? Because we know that we're safer in a democracy where we actually get to have that practice. So, some of you might be wondering right now, oh, this is great, this is cool. Why is she here on Friday night? What does this have to do with, being Jewish, services, and Shabbat, so I invite you to turn to, if you picked up this, the handout, and turn to the inside of the first page. There's a short, yes, if you didn't get one, there's extras, thank you. There's a short and sweet little quote from a wonderful, famous Jewish guy, Hillel, and a few questions afterwards. So I'd love if you just turn to the person next to you, read that quote, and discuss these questions for a few minutes with each other.
Are they still on Wisconsin Avenue or DC or is it international address?
To be honest, I haven't ever been.
What?
I haven't been yet, and I don't know which street it's on. I gather you're reading. I don't hear a lot of talking, but that's okay. You're taking in the questions. Okay, so I just love to hear from a few people. You don't need to answer these questions, but what did you talk about in your partners? What are you taking away from this quote? Short but deep. Couple people.
presence than,
Well, so 1PA started in Pittsburgh, and with their focus on organizing the Black, brown, and working class community,
right,
that led them to then go to Philly, where there's a majority Black population, and they're slowly growing. And so Harrisburg is like their newest spot,
okay.
and they have ambitions to get to Northeast PA. They're growing slowly, but that's kind of where they built their base.
Well, yeah, because those are the people that are not voting
Yes.
in that area.
Right. Yeah. Any other? So what I heard from him was humanity, which I love. Any other reflections from that conversation or about this time? I'm an organizer. I am interactive. I'm sorry.
It's easy to vote. And it's really easy, it's actually not easy anymore, but to forget that other people do not have that function. And it only feels good and vibrant if people are, otherwise it's just talking to ourselves. And people are not getting up to have it.
Exactly. Right. So I think one of the reasons why we're using this text and the most famous text by Hillel, if I'm only for myself, who will be for me? If I am not, I'm always good or wrong. And if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? If I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not, how am I? Is that right? We can go vote, and that's good. But if we aren't also bringing other people to come vote with us, then we're only getting a slice of the democracy. We're only getting a slice of the picture. And so that's really what I want to offer too as motivation for why we do this work, right? It's not about parties, it's not about candidates. It's really about ensuring and building and protecting a strong democracy. And so I think what's beautiful about this quote is that Hillel's asking us to move beyond the walls of what feels like our personal safe spheres, right? And be in partnership with others around us. And that's exactly what we do at the RAC. That's how we operate. We know that there's no campaign that we can run on our own. We need to do it in partnership. And working with us, we all have this opportunity to work in partnership between different synagogues across the state, and partnership between us and other organizations, other communities in the state. We can't go it alone individually as passionate activists, individually as one synagogue, or even just as a reform movement. Our safety truly is in our solidarity, right? And this campaign is an opportunity to deepen that, to show up and to commit to our partnerships with other groups of people who have that shared interest. I think what's beautiful about 1PA is that they share that perspective from their end. They know, I'm lost in my text, they know that to meet their goals, right, they also can't do it alone. They need multi-faith, multiracial, cross-class, multi-generational partnerships in order to win the world that they want as well. And what I love about working with them is that is really foundational to who they are and their theory of change, and it's very foundational to ours. So it's really a beautiful partnership that I just want to offer the invitation to come be a part of with us. And I think one of the things that's most powerful is not only will this change who votes in this state, perhaps the outcome of the election because it's actually participatory, but we also have a chance to change the narrative of who Reformed Jews are in the state. What people think of when they hear Reformed Jews, right? We get to help them understand that we are people who will show up, who care deeply, and who do not separate ourselves from the community at the times when it counts the most. So I invite you to stay for the owning and we can talk more, but one of the things you can do to get started is this summer, we're starting with postcarding, and we're having postcard parties where you'll get to come and help write postcards, individual personalized messages to voters who 1PA has in their membership base. But at those parties, you'll also get a chance to have conversations. Conversations kind of like what I've been talking about tonight. What's at stake for us in this election? How our communities benefit from being in partnership across lines of difference. So you get to deepen relationships with other people in your community. You get to bring in other people. Julie's going to invite people from the Bethel. It's very open. And you'll get to come. So Julie is hosting one this summer. Ricky Hurwitz is also hosting one this summer. There's a clipboard out there on the table with the dates and the times, and you can sign up to say, you want to come to
page 586 and rise. Aleinu Shabbat Ladom Lakol Lateku Laferishim Shalom Yoyet Now let's turn to those who we remember this time of year. And before we start, before I read the list, Mark asked me to read this meditation, which I promise will make this very and always does. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me a praise, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. This week, we remember Mo L. Cooper, Samuel Deerham Jr., Nina Eisenberg, Burl B. Fine, Howard Feinschreiber, E. Mortimer Israel, Toby Jacobs, Sarah Norman, A.L. Nassau, Matilda Pike, Jean Rothman, Ann N. Sauertag, Florence Simmons, Jeffrey J. Weisblatt, and Rita M. Wolf. Is there anyone else that we need to add to the list? You'd like to add? And we're in the period of Sochine for Henry Cohn. Kaddish can be found on page 598. Yitkadah, Yitkadah, Shemir Allah, Yallah, Yivrach, Yivrach, Yamiklah, Yivrach, V'chayekon Yom Echom, V'chayekon Beit Yisrael, V'Adonai Zman Karev V'Ru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mebarak, Oleh, Oleh Amayim, Yitbarach, V'Yishtabach, V'Yitra'ar, V'Yitramam, V'Yitnaseh, V'Yithadar, V'Yithaleh, V'Yithalal, Shemeda Kudashah, Brehu. Le'lam im kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nefemata, na'amirata ve'allah v'Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'ha'im aleinu ve'akol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'brama, u'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'akol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom
interfaith prayer service for gun violence awareness. And it's starting and it's not here, in the name of the church.
Oh,
It's just on Seneca Street.
it's on Seneca Street.
It's on Seneca Street, so actually over about 3.5 blocks or 4 blocks. Up there.
It's in the news blast.
It's in the news blast, okay, and then there's a little walk just from there to here, and then there's going to be a little closing ceremony here. So that would be a lovely thing to participate in on June 9th. June 14th, next week, the Shabbat service, Gloria Kaplan, one of our sisterhood, person will be sharing about the work of the Tel Aviv Sexual Assault Crisis Center. And it would be just wonderful to have everyone's support at that event. June the 21st, we're going to the baseball game. Shabbat services at 7 baseball game. Game starts at 7, definitely y'all should for that. And finally, June the 25th is the annual congregational meeting. That's at 7 o'clock, and it would be good to see everyone there as well. Again, thank you so much, Rachel, for coming. Again, everyone, thank you for being here. And please, I believe that Lynn is across the way. So please, everybody come over and have a chance to talk with her. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. We were going to close with Olam Chesed Yivaneh, and it was supposed to be in the lyrics were supposed to be in the order of service, but it's not, so I apologize. But we've done it before, so you might remember it. Olam Chesed Yivaneh, la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yivaneh, la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yivaneh, la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yivaneh, la 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 la. I will build this world from love, la 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 la. And you must build this world from love, la 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 la. And if we build this world from love, la 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 la, then God will build this world from love, la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yivaneh, la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yivaneh, la 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 la. I thought that was a good, I chose that specifically for you, Rachel, for tonight. And so we can go and eat at the Oneg. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Anotzi lechem min haaretz v'te'amon. And I'm going to give this to somebody. But help yourself to challah. And the Oneg is in the social hall across the way. So that's the love, everybody. Thank you.